Today on Talk Fulton, restorative justice in action. We'll show you how Fulton residents are getting a second chance with their legal issues thanks to community court and thanks to behavioral health treatment court. I'm Shaunya Chavis, and Talk Fulton begins right now. We're talking today about two programs that are making a big difference in the lives of people who have come in contact with the wrong side of law enforcement and who, rather than spend time behind bars, are spending time serving their community and getting the help they need. First, we'll focus on community court.
Brandon Belli has a new lease on life.
Where do you think you would be without this kind of help?
Right now, I'd either be in prison or dead, one of the two.
In and out of jail, hooked on heroin.
I was really bad on heroin, so I was coming to Fulton 4 or 5 times a day, back and forth from Douglas County to get the heroin, and it was a constant, every day, all day, back and forth. Going back, you know, just that's what my life consisted of, was looking for heroin.
Back and forth to the boulevard. Fulton Industrial Boulevard, that is, where a 2015 arrest would begin to change his life.
I thought I was going to jail, and I said, well, how much is my bond, this and that. I was asking the officer, and he said, well, you're not going to jail. We're going to take you to a new thing, community court, that we're starting.
Thank you. You may all have a seat over our will.
Community court, a different type of justice, a unique partnership between the judge, the prosecutor, and the public defender for the benefit of the defendant, better known as participants or clients. Here, there is applause.
Today I have to tell you that Mr. Bigby has completed all of his community service.
Wonderful.
And more.
Wonderful.
And encouragement.
Is there anything that you need help from us with?
No, ma'am. Everything is going well. I just have to continue to do what I need to do.
Okay.
This is the Office of the Fulton County District Attorney's answer to the quality of life crimes plaguing Fulton Industrial Boulevard at the urging of a crippled business community searching for solutions.
There was an abundance of foot traffic of prostitutes, drug dealers, drug buyers on the street, panhandlers, and it was quite overwhelming.
A community court housed on FIB with the aim of reducing crime and revitalizing the once vibrant business corridor.
It wasn't hard to be convinced that it was something that we should at least try, and that's what we've done over the first year. And I would say the first year there's been a lot of growth and evolution based on what I have observed, and it's definitely needed.
Since opening in December 2014, drug arrests along the FIB corridor are down 61%. Violent crime arrests are down 46%, and property crime arrests are down 23%. And there's more. One new business has located to the area, 2 others have expanded, creating more than 500 new jobs. The residential occupancy rate is also up 16% since community court opened its doors. Progress, one participant at a time.
A lot of people are griping about the people are going to jail, spending 48, 72 hours there, and they're back out on the streets doing the same thing over and over and over again. Fulton County Community Court and its judges and its staff are putting a stop to that because they're holding these people accountable.
No doubt, there is punitive action, but also holistic help.
We can't just simply charge people and then put them away forever or as long as we can and hope that something will happen differently when they're released if nothing has happened at the front end. So the whole point of accountability courts is to acknowledge that there's a problem, but to try to dig underneath and figure out what is causing an individual to especially reoffend.
It just seems like everybody around you cares. It's not like a regular court where you go and the judge doesn't know you, doesn't know your story. Here, they want to know your story. They want to know what they can do to help you.
Thank you. Good. Very good.
For Brandon, like the 95 other participants who've been through community court this year, help is available. Drug treatment, job training, therapy. But they're also forced to give back, to clean up the community tarnished by their very own actions.
Y'all have all your stuff? You got your bags and stuff?
The business owners see them on a regular basis and know who they are. But to turn around and see them when they've got the personnel here from community court, bringing them out with a traffic vest and a garbage bag, picking up the trash in front of the curb on the front of their business, cleaning up the community, says, hey, things are changing.
Change that leads to hope.
My greatest hope is that the people that are committing these low-level quality of life crimes change their trajectory and find employment somewhere, and which will stimulate more business development here, more employment, more tax revenue for the county, and create this to the prosperous corridor it once was in the 70s and 80s.
We would be able, I guess, to get off I-20, make probably a left on the boulevard, and not see that people are living under the bridge. We would drive a little further and we would see criminal activity in open view in the middle of the day in front of the businesses that are there trying to thrive, and that we would have a good number of people who are, I guess, graduates of the program and are doing well.
My greatest hope is to be the stepfather that I need to be, and husband, son, be the man that I need to be all together, and live a productive life and have fun while doing it without drugs or alcohol.
Good for you, Brandon. And that was Yvette Jones reporting. Now, when we come back, we'll talk to the director of community court right here on Talk Fulton. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking today about the many ways Fulton County is addressing criminal justice reform in a practical way, a way that has been changing lives for the better. Well, during our last segment, we showed you one program in the justice system called Community Court. Tange Johnson is the director of Community Court. Welcome to Talk Fulton, Tange.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So let's start from the beginning. How did this program come to be along Fulton Industrial Boulevard?
Fulton Industrial Boulevard Community Court was an answer to a big problem that the boulevard was facing. For several years, the boulevard had been a booming place for industry. So for 30 years, they had business prosperity. But in the late 80s and early 90s, with the influx of drugs in that area, it depleted the quality of life. So as a result, there were many efforts to actually build the area up. However, it proved to be an issue that was bigger than all of the people who actually tried to make a difference. There are many arrests made for quality of life crimes such as criminal trespassing, such as solicitation or pandering of the sort. However, they entered into, those who were arrested never really got the help that they needed because they entered into an arrest bond cycle within the state court system. And that actually ended up bringing them right back to the boulevard, so the crimes perpetuated.
I can see that. And so when we were talking about restorative justice, this is truly one of those ideas. Now, I saw the DA's office, the judges, and the public defender's office all taking part in that segment we just saw. Who are the other partners who helped to make this kind of a program work?
I'm glad you touched on that because it is a unique program in the sense that you have the prosecutors and you have the public defenders and the judge who come together and sit at the same table. And it is, along with service providers such as substance abuse treatment providers or providers who bring in social services such as safe houses for those who are on the street and who need to get off or who are victims of human trafficking or the sort, or those who offer homeless prevention services. Those are the people we have in and who sit at the table and actually come up with treatment plans that meet the needs of those who come through community court.
So we heard a little bit about the program, but now Tange, walk us through how this actually works. A person gets arrested. Sure. How do they end up in community court instead of in the traditional court system?
Sure. So we only work with those people who've committed quality of life crimes like loitering or criminal trespassing or the like. And we have a relationship with the Fulton County Police Department. And when they see people, when they arrest people for those crimes, they come directly to community court where we do their intake. And during that intake process, we do their needs and risk assessment. So are you presenting mental health needs, or are you presenting some kind of other mitigating circumstances that require immediate assistance? If you do not, or if you refuse those services right then, what we do is we give you a notice of court to be present at the next court date. And when you come in, you go before the judge and you have an opportunity to opt in or opt out of the program. And if you opt into the program, you're required to complete community service hours. You're required to do some things that are mandated by the judge that are specific to your needs and specific to the crime in which you've committed.
Now, do you all give the defendants that are in this program, is there like a time length in terms of when they must commit or complete this community service?
Sure, it's contingent upon the actual crime you've committed. So if you've committed a loitering crime, for example, and that in state court would carry a 6-month sentence, you're required to complete the mandated community service as well as group facilitation. We call it cognitive skills, which is thinking for a change. You're required to complete those orders, those requirements within the length of time in which you would actually have to serve time, so in that 6-month period.
You know, it's just really, really cool to see, our police officers talking to those who have, as I mentioned earlier, found themselves on the wrong side of the law and trying to help them get their lives back on track. What happens once they complete the whole community court process?
Well, once they can complete the process, they go through a little graduation ceremony with us, and their crimes are expunged. Their records are expunged with regards to the crimes they've committed. And what's cool about what we do is many of the people who come to community court have other crimes on their record. You know, like I said, it's been a cycle, and many of them have been on the streets for years and years and have been arrested, gone to state court, and eventually when community court started, they started coming into our community court. Well, we have a way of dealing with some of their other crimes as well. So if they committed a misdemeanor or a felony, and we can kind of bring them alongside our program and help them complete the requirements of that felony within our program. So we have ways to actually work with them, because we are under the premise that, under an understanding that those people who commit many of these crimes have other issues.
Right.
Right, so, you might see a man who's homeless, but his issue may be, he committed a pandering crime, okay? So he's out there, that's not necessarily the issue. He's homeless, and you dig a little deeper, there's some mental health issues. Right. And then, maybe some other issues, some drug-related issues. So we're dealing with the risk factors or the root causes that actually perpetuate the issues that in turn perpetuate the crime.
Right. Now, we saw how Brandon's life has changed.
Right.
Is this typical of what you see with the clients of community court?
Oh, it's wonderful. There are people who have not gone to treatment a day in their life. And they actually fight us in the beginning. And then it is just truly remarkable to see them actually say, I'm tired, and actually go into different programs that meet their needs and come out different people. It is an amazing program. that not only helps to reduce crime in the area, but helps to change lives and improve the quality of life within the boulevard and the community itself.
Absolutely. Now, have you all been able to gauge the recidivism rate of this program? How often has someone who has completed this program found themselves right back in trouble with the law?
Well, we actually look at the arrest increase or decrease numbers within the community. And right now we've been able to, through community court and through the efforts of the police department, as well as the community, commercial industrial district, the CID out there, been able to see that we've reduced narcotics arrests by 61% year over year. And in addition to that, have seen a reduction in violent crimes arrests, which we don't deal with at all, by 46% within the year. We've also seen decreases in arrests and crimes being committed in the hotels around the area. Those hotels were huge problems and consistently are issues of concern on the boulevard, and we've seen significant decreases in many of the hotels over there as well. And those are some of the things that we monitor.
Right. Now, Tange, as we get ready to close this particular segment, I think I may have failed to mention that this was the brainchild of the district attorney, correct?
This was a response to the outcry from the CID in South Fulton and the community therein. They came to District Attorney Paul Howard and said, hey, can you help us with this? And through him and the community prosecutors, they came together in viewing other community courts around the world who have had similar issues and have been successful in working with this same population. And it was, yes, in fact, his decision and the office's decision to place a community court in that area.
Well, I tell you what, if you've saved even one life, you have done a lot, and it appears that this program has done just that. Tange Johnson, Director of the Fulton County Community Court, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And when we come back, a look at another program aimed at getting people in trouble with the law back on their feet. Stay with us. Fulton Superior Court has made great strides in providing residents involved in their justice system with the resources they need to stay out of jail and into a healthy and legal environment. The court has what are called accountability court services, including a drug court, a veterans court, and behavioral health treatment court. Well, we have a look at the clients from one of those court programs who successfully finished and are now officially on the road to starting over. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn has their story.
In a Fulton County courthouse assembly room usually reserved for jurors sat a group of residents who once found themselves on the wrong side of the law. They watched as their mug shots and old interviews were shown on a big screen.
I just felt like she was being too tough on me, but she really cared.
But on this day, they are proud because they are the newest graduates of the Behavioral Health Treatment Court program.
It helped me get back on track. In my addiction, I had, lost my way, and it just helped me get back on track.
This Fulton County Superior Court program offers a second chance to residents who might be facing felony charges.
The goal of the program is to reduce recidivism, is to make the community safer, and to take these individuals that really shouldn't be caught up in the justice system and give them treatment, which is what they need to get out of it.
Participants include those who might not have been caring for their mental illness or went undiagnosed. During the program, they are connected to resources, take part in bi-weekly group therapy sessions, and must abide by a curfew for 2 years.
It teaches individuals with a mental illness how to live in the community and be productive citizens in our community. In addition, it cuts down on crime in the community. It cuts down on taxpayers, the amount of money spent by them being in the jail.
The graduates say the process taught them how to better react to life's stressful situations.
Family relationships got better. I was able to really talk through conflicts with people instead of just reacting.
About 100 people take part in the behavioral court treatment program each year. Court officials say after the graduation ceremony, few return back to the court system and few return back to jail. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Now to get in touch with the Fulton County Accountability Court Program, you can call 404-612-2400 or visit fultoncourt.org. To get in touch with the Fulton County Community Court, you can call 404-613-6454 or visit atlantada.org. Well, that does it for this edition of Talk Fulton. Special thank you to Tange Johnson and a special thank you to you for watching. We invite you to email us to let us know what topics you'd like to see addressed right here on Talk Fulton. Email us at fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. I'm Shaunya Chavis Rucker. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.